change? How does your leadership style change? How do you adjust? Or don't you?
I'm not trying. I don't think you can ever adjust, because an acquisition, like I said, I've been through quite a few now. They buy you for one or two reasons. One, for revenue, i.e., I'm doing $1 billion. I want to buy another $500 million company revenue-wise, and all of a sudden we're a $1.5 billion. Our valuation is now gone from 1.5 billion to maybe 4 if we re-IPO. So you buy revenue, you buy market share, or you buy product. A lot of the organisations I've worked for have been product acquisitions where you kind of look. So I was acquired by Symantec, I was acquired by Palo Alto, and I was acquired by IBM. So a lot of the big beasts that are already doing a lot of revenue. And a lot of those acquisitions are about product. So we have a gap in our portfolio. We want to acquire you to add value to already as our existing customers. I.e., if I'm IBM, I've got a huge portfolio. We believe that the product that we're acquiring from you can help us sell more of the stuff we've already got, and maybe differentiate us and the stuff we've already got. Whereas a Palo Alto acquisition for me was, actually, we're going to buy you and then we're going to buy other technologies and piece them into you. How does it change? Well, I remember when I left Symantec, so 15, 20 years ago, when I was at Symantec at PGP, and there are a lot of great people that came out of that organisation that are doing phenomenal things. When I left, there was a guy called Derek O'Carroll, and Derek's gone on to do great things and sold his company recently to Sage, I think. Derek said to me, the reason that people leave post-acquisition is you are an entrepreneurial sales guy. So you're used to being really close to the customer. You're used to making deals. A bit like recruitment, you're very close to actually closing the deal. You're used to being able to be creative commercially. And we've acquired you, and we take all that away from you because there's processes in a big company and there's big portfolios. So a lot of entrepreneurial startup people will struggle because all the things they're good at, they can't do. So you either need to kind of like adapt or survive. You either need to go, okay, I like it here. I'm going to, dare I say it, play the game and do the right thing and do the reporting, or maybe I'm going to go on and do what I'm good at again. So you kind of have to adapt. But it's also, you learn so much. I mean, I'm very lucky because I've got to go and work in different companies. The way that Palo Alto drive growth is completely different to the way a Trend Micro drive growth. Completely different to the way that Wiz, who are growing at a extortionate rate, are driving. So you learn lots about forecasting. You learn lots about how you marketing. Channels, another great one. Single tier, 2-tier, direct touch, average deal size. Are we channel led? Are we not channel led? Are we MSP? So you get to learn loads. So I would say, go and learn from as many people as possible. And if you're lucky enough to go into a position of leadership, you can take the bits that you like into your role, and the bits you hate, you can just brush under the carpet and refuse never to do that again.
Would you say for yourself and for other people listening out there, if they do get acquired, there's obviously more process involved. Is that what's prompted you to sort of think, do you know what, I'm going to move on, or I'm going to look for an alternative position?
I'm quite weird because I've never actually really wanted to move on. I've just been approached by venture capitalists that have said, hey, we've got, we want you to do a turnaround where maybe company's doing really well and they want to take it to the next level, or we've got a really good product that we want you to help grow in EMEA. I think it depends on where you are in your lifestyle and where you are. I mean, listen, people are inherently lazy. We're lazy, right? We want to do as little as possible. I want to play golf loads, but I can't, right? People are lazy. Now, I want to do things the least path of resistance, but the other side of the coin, there are people that are really ambitious. Some acquisitions are going to really, really suit people. I know some people that work with me that are still in some of the big acquisitions are doing a brilliant job because that culture was good for them. As I said, you can learn loads. It depends on what's going to go with the product. It's a bit like when you look at a piece of technology now, if you're going to move jobs, what's the total addressable market? How many competitors are they? What's the roadmap of this product? Is it niche? Is it a commodity? What makes you unique? What's your unique selling point? What's your average sales cycle? All those things that I look at on a job, I'd look at, well, where do we fit in this big IBM portfolio? Where do you fit in the Symantec portfolio? Where do you fit in the Palo Alto portfolio? Is there an opportunity for me to go and do what I'm good at in this new world? And you can also make a lot of money post-acquisition because you've got all these customers to go after. You spent all your years in a little startup, 100, 200 million revenue vendor, and all of a sudden I've got this enormous customer install base to go after. So I don't say there's pros and cons of acquisitions. Some vendors, as we know, do a brilliant job. Others do a horrible job. And I won't name which ones.
So, Matt, when you've been approached by companies to go and take over as a new leader, my experience of when a new leader goes into a company, either two things. They either just sort of babysit it and nothing really happens, or they sack everyone and then bring in their own team.
Yeah.
So if someone brings you in, what's your remit? What do you actually do in the first sort of 60, 90 days? What are you thinking?
I think it's an interesting one because you're absolutely right. Quite often both of those things happen and you'll scratch your head and go, well, why has that happened? Surely that's not good. I kind of look at a different approach. I kind of think, right, well, fundamentally, and I say this to everyone, and my team hate me saying it, you pay my mortgage. What do you mean by that, Matt? Well, I don't pay my mortgage. I have, here at ForeScout, the kind of 150, 200 people that work for me pay my mortgage. So it's in my job to make them a success. If they're not a success, I'm not a success. So why would I want to put roadblocks in their way or go and get rid of them? Another mantra I have is you get 100% trust day one. You don't have to earn it, you can only lose it. If you kind of combine those two, you kind of join an organisation and go, well, what have I got? And a senior kind of mentor of mine said, when you come in, the first thing you need to do is you need to look at people like chess. So you say, imagine looking at a board and looking down, you go, you need to figure out your pieces. And chess, people can only move in certain ways, and that's fine. So there are people that come into organisations and fire somebody. Maybe somebody's in the wrong role. They're really a pawn instead of a knight, but you haven't recognised that. So now you understand all your pieces. That might take a couple of months. Now you've got to figure out which way they can move. And it's fine that some can move in more ways than others. Some can move backwards and forwards. Some can move. Figure out your pieces. Then when you just see that you've got that sorted, in chess you've always got to think 2 moves ahead. 6 months ahead, 6 months ahead. Well, what happens? And then you just get that sorted. You think you've got the competition. People are going to get taken, attrition, competition, you're going to lose deals. So when I come in board, I kind of look at, I don't want to get rid of everybody because they pay my mortgage. So my job is to make them a success. What chess piece are they? How can we move them around? Do we need to move them? Inevitably, some might need to move on and you might need to bring new people in. But the new people we bring in and the ones you've already got, you're in that job because fundamentally you earned that job. You hire loads of people and the candidates that get hired are best for the job that they're interviewing for. So that says to me they're better at their job than I am. So why would I go and fire them? I'm not going to go and fire a channel guy because he knows more about channel than I know ever. So my job is to make him a success. Now, fundamentally, like sport, it might not work. We might carry injuries. They might get old. They might be in the wrong position and you have to exit people. But I do sometimes scratch my head, if I'm honest, and go, you just bought this piece of technology for 300 million and the whole team's gone. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Why would you do that? So I do scratch my head. But then that says to me it's just a revenue play. I mean, dare I say, look at Broadcom's acquisitions recently. They've gone and spent billions on pieces of technology and they've turned around and said, we're only going to look after top 50 customers.
That's nice.
I still don't get that. I don't understand that. Why you do that.